Hi guys, so today I am doing a pulled or shredded chicken taco for you guys. It's more of a pulled chicken taco. This is my take on pulled pork. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. It is simply delicious. Alright you guys, so we're going to start off with 1 teaspoon garlic powder, and then 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon crushed pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon paprika powder, 3 teaspoons of ground cumin, okay, and 2 teaspoons of pink Himalayan salt. You can use kosher salt. And I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of black pepper. This is coarse ground black pepper, and also a teaspoon of dried oregano. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that all together in my coffee grinder and turn it into a powder. And I also added in a half teaspoon of cayenne and an extra half teaspoon of paprika powder. So this is how it looks, okay? Perfect for any type of like taco or Mexican themed or Latin themed dish that you want to make. Okay, so the chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off as much fat as I can, but still keep a little bit on there because I don't want the chicken to be super dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If you want, you can buy the chicken skinless and boneless, so you don't have to deal with the bone and the skin, okay? But you might still have to cut off the excess fat if there's any on there. All right, so once that's done, I grew up in a South American country where we clean our meat with vinegar or lemon. So I cleaned my meat with vinegar and rinsed it off, and then here I added about 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and then added as much seasoning as I would like to the meat. This is about 2.5 pounds of chicken. You can add as much seasoning as you like. I promise it's not super salty. Okay, you have to remember there's other spices in there that make it a lot. Okay, so yeah, you just add it in there and mix it together. The oil helps the seasoning stick to the meat, and then you just cover it and then put it in the fridge until you're ready to cook the meat, and that way it gets to marinate, and all those flavors get to kind of blend together. So I'm gonna use about 4 to 5 cloves of whole garlic. You can use already cut up garlic. It's all up to you. You do not have to use fresh garlic if you don't want to. You can use the jar one, or you can use the minced one, totally up to you. And you can use a medium onion. Okay, we're not really going to cut them up too much. All right, and these are the herbs that we're going to use: cilantro and bay leaves. They're some of my favorite herbs to use in cooking, and some parsley. This one is the flat leaf parsley. In my pan, I'm going to add in about 1.5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to make sure the pot heats up properly. Do not put meat in a pot that has not, heated the oil properly, or else your meat will stick to the pan and it will not release. Okay, so you want to give the pan about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes to heat up properly, and then you put in your meat, and we're just going to brown them on each side. It takes about maybe 2 to 3 minutes just to get a nice browning on each side of the chicken thigh. So once it's brown, you want to transfer it to a plate or a bowl where it's going to collect the juices that's going to come out of it, because we're going to use it later. I'm going to go ahead, add in the rest of the chicken. And after you take it out, you still have to let your pot get back to temperature. I mean your pan, get back to where it was before you put in extra meat. Okay, so give it time to warm up again, and then add in your meat. Okay. So once that's brown on one side, go ahead, turn it over. The heat, by the way, is on medium-high heat. You can use high heat, but make sure you watch what you're doing, or else you might burn the meat or burn your pan or the oil. All right, so now that that's brown on both sides, I'm going to go in and add all the other pieces. That crust that develops in the bottom of the pan gives a lot of flavor to this meat, so that's another reason why we're doing this in the same pan. Once you add that in there, make sure everything has a good spot so everything cooks nice and evenly. We're going to add in whatever juices were collected in the bowl or pan, with your plate, whatever you're using. Add those juices in there. Add your onion. I just sliced up the garlic. I didn't cut them up too small. Add in about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. You just put that right on the top. Add in about 3 or 2 bay leaves if you like. It's all up to what you like. Okay, I like herbs. I add a lot of them in my food. Okay, and then you can go ahead, add your fresh parsley. This is flat leaf parsley. And then about 1/4 cup to a half cup of chicken stock or chicken broth. Okay, once that starts kind of boiling up, you want to cover that and put the temperature down or the heat down to medium and just leave it for about 40 to 45 minutes to cook slow. And this is after 40 minutes cooking slow. And you see the onion has fully cooked, but it's still in the shape of onion. Okay, that's what we want. That's why we leave it like that. I don't want my onions to like disappear. I want to see them in there. All right, so now we're just going to flip all of the meat. Don't worry about the tomato paste not being all over. It's going to be there. Okay, just flip everything. You can spread out your onions now. You guys, your kitchen should be smelling really good right about now. So as you guys can see, I've stripped or pulled a lot of the chicken already. And this is how I do it. I just use a fork and I literally rip it off of the bone. If it was boneless, it would have been the same process just without me having to deal with the bone. Okay, and it's super easy to do. So once you have everything nice and pulled or ripped apart, you want to mix it back into those juices. Take out all those bay leaves, because you don't want someone to bite down on that. Or if you're preparing this for someone, do not put this in their taco. The bay leaves are not edible. They just give flavor and aroma to the food, like a nice aroma and flavor, I feel. Okay, so this is how it looks. It kind of looks like pulled pork, doesn't it? I actually got the pulled pork idea from the supermarket. I was walking and they were giving out free samples, and I was like, pulled pork? I don't really cook pork a lot. I do bacon and ribs, but not like pork. So this was my version of pulled pork. As you guys can see, I added a bit of our taco seasoning or Mexican seasoning. Okay, and yeah, I added a bit of that, just a little bit, probably less than half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add in some fresh cilantro that I cut up and just mix that in together. The cilantro is going to give it such a beautiful taste, you guys. I love cilantro. Okay, it tastes really good to me. Alright, you guys, once you have that all mixed up, you're just gonna want to cover that and set it aside. But as you guys can see, it really resembles pulled pork to me, just with kind of more of a Mexican style flavor to it, because I'm really not trying to offend anybody, because anytime you make something that's from a different culture, it offends someone. So yeah, put it aside and then go on to your vegetables. So now I'm gonna use some green bell pepper and slice it up real thinly. And you're just gonna do as much as you like. You do not have to do this, by the way. I like adding fresh type ingredients to my tacos, but you can go ahead, get a tortilla, put your meat in it, put some cheese, some sour cream, whatever it is that you like in your tacos, and go ahead and eat. Okay, but yeah, I'm using some red bell pepper, some green bell pepper, and some sliced up tomatoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and add that into a separate frying pan where I lightly saute them. So here's the meat, which I kind of use to kind of season my pan, if that makes sense to you. Kind of give the pan some flavor. Then I add in my veggies. Okay. Once I have those added in, I'm just gonna let them lightly saute. I'm not trying to put any color or anything on them. I still want them to be crisp and firm. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of my favorite hot sauce. This is a habanero hot sauce that I got in my local ShopRite, and it's so delicious, you guys. It has a good amount of heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that on top of that pulled chicken of ours there. So yummy. If you like heat, you'll like this. And just kind of lightly add in our veggie mix there and bring it to the center so the heat can go through it really good. You guys, you're gonna like this. Trust me, you are. All right, if you don't want to use a taco, you can use a all wheat taco tortilla. This one is all flour, but you can use all wheat. They have gluten free, or you can make some brown rice and put this meat on top of it, add some black beans to it, and you'll live your life. But as you guys can see, I'm using the pan to kind of give my tortilla some flavor, that juice that's in there, I'm rubbing the tortilla in it. I was rubbing it in it to kind of give it some flavor on the outside, and then I add the meat in it. Okay, for cheese, I don't want to use cheddar cheese. I'm actually using provolone. I'm using one of those, I think it's the 40-calorie extra thin slice provolone slices, I think from Sargento. So I'm gonna use some provolone cheese instead of shredded cheddar, and just put that on top of our pulled chicken and just let that melt in there. Okay, you can help it melt, you can push it down in the meat or you can cover the pan, but I'm in a rush, I'm hungry. All right, you guys, now that the cheese has heated up just a bit and the tortilla is nice and hot, you want to kind of fold it and make your taco kind of shape, your traditional taco shape, I guess. And, put it together like that, okay? And I'm also gonna like drop in a couple of drops of water to bring the steam up, and this is also going to help make that cheese melt faster. I don't mind the extra work. If you're not into all this to make something to eat, it's fine. But I enjoy cooking, so I don't mind. All right. So, yeah. Oh, this was so good, you guys. It really was. You see how the cheese has melted? Oh my God. And you don't need a lot of cheese. You don't. If you want a lot of cheese, add it if you like. But you don't need a lot of cheese. There's enough meat in there to satisfy my cravings. Okay, so now you're going to transfer it onto your plate, and that's pretty much it. If you want to, you can add some cilantro around the plate, make it all fancy and pretty. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you make it, make sure to post it on Instagram, tag me, or post it wherever, tag me, so I could see and enjoy your cooking. Love you guys. Bye.